Good evening, I'm Ginthotavidana S.S.C. joining virtually for FAR 2021 conference, and I'm here to present the findings of the paper named A Hybrid Solar Wind Energy Generation Approach for Sri Lanka. My co-authors are Mendis K.S.L and Dr. K.G.A.S. Waidyasekara, and this is an outline of our presentation. In the background, it's identified as the worldwide energy consumption will escalate by 48% in 2040 with the growth of developing countries, and neighboring India strives to ensure universal access to clean energy by 2030. Among South Asian nations such as Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan, Sri Lanka has been recognized as the only nation who predominantly relies on renewable sources. So Sri Lanka is a tropical country with plethora of renewable sources, and penetration of these sources into the national grid can minimize the cost of energy and greenhouse emissions. In the problem statement, we have identified that there is a possibility of fulfilling the total hourly energy demand of Sri Lanka using solar, wind, and hydro energy sources. Many studies have investigated the hybrid renewable energy concept. However, limited studies are available on the application of the hybrid concept for Sri Lanka. Therefore, in order to assist the investment decisions, there's a need to conduct a comprehensive and independent analysis on hybrid renewable energy systems. So, the research aim is to explore the applicability of hybrid solar wind renewable energy generation approach for Sri Lanka. So, in the research methodology, in the initial stage, a background study has been carried out, and the research problem and aim has been formulated. In the literature review phase, different sources have been referred to identify the basic concepts of hybrid energy generation. And in the research approach, we have selected the qualitative approach as the suitable one. And in research strategies, the survey structure has been selected with expert opinion surveys and semi-structured interviews as data collection tools. Data analysis stage and findings has been done through manual content analysis with data validation by two experts, and as the research output, we have developed a framework to implement hybrid solar wind energy generation approach for Sri Lanka, and conclusions and recommendations has been formulated. So this is a profile of our respondents, and we have identified 8 respondents with adequate experience on hybrid field. So, in the data analysis part, we have identified the current practices of installation of solar and wind. So, in solar panels installation, the first method is net metering. This is in this method, the generated electricity is taken to CEB to balance the monthly energy bill, and excess could be saved for future as a future money balance in a bank. Uh, so, the net accounting method is used if the generated electricity is greater than the consumption, and the user gets paid rupees 22 per unit in the first 7 years and rupees 15.5 per unit in the following years. In the net plus method, the electricity generated using the solar panels are being paid a fixed price of 22 by the CEB, and the usage is charged at the normal tariff. So this is suitable for low income households. And wind turbines are of two types, grid connected and off grid. Grid connected is supply connected to national grid, and we can find this in Putlam, Kankasanture and Mena areas. Off grid will not be successful as per the respondents, and we have 30 to 40 off grid turbines which are currently not operational due to high maintenance cost, and a local supply project for 15 to 20 dwellings was successful in the past. So, if we dive into the utilization level and government support of solar panels, approximately 6,500 solar systems are available in Sri Lanka, with which produces 33 megawatts, and 1,005 systems are being proposed, which will produce 12 megawatts. The cost of generation is 16 per unit, and the cost for consumer will be 18 per unit. The solar energy utilization is low as most customers use solar only instead of solar PV and thermal. The government needs to implement more awareness sessions to expand the market, and full support from government has been given for the solar projects, which has been distributed among the viable areas around the island. And there is a tax-free import grant for solar panels effective from 2016, and a project to supply free solar panels to temples and religious places has also been carried out. So in the utilization level of wind power, area above Putlam is declared as a good region, and we have a supply of on-site builders and wind developers, but importing is still cheaper. The central province has the highest potential, but it is not viable economically due to turbulence. The viable areas are Jaffna Lagoon, Mena, and Puduri, and we can implement standard power purchase agreements to uh, enable the private sector to produce wind energy. So hybrid renewable systems has been emerged due to the high cost, lack of storage, unreliability, and difficult to depend on uh, single energy source. So the benefits are the saving of non-renewables in addressing the future energy deficit. Only solution to curtail rising energy prices, reliability, flexibility, energy efficiency, assist to reduce global warming, and space planning advantages. So the reasons for overlooking hybrid concept in Sri Lanka is the lack of updated technology, lack of funding. Sri Lanka's not been aware of the green energy and clean energy, and they always focus on low cost and the difficulty to provide a backup storage to hybrid systems. So in when we identify the applicability of solar wind hybrid system for Sri Lanka, to be successful, solar wind system should be grid connected, and we can achieve 20% from the total energy supply saving of the country through these solar and wind sources. If we further broaden this into thermal electricity and other sectors, and we can implement modeling and circular economic approaches to get a best option for Sri Lanka. So when compared to other renewable sources like biomass, the solar and wind has less involvement of people and are clean energy and are abundant in supply. So the solar and wind concentrated areas such as Punarine and Kilnochi could be used to generate the electricity, and we can distribute it to the national industrial zones like Katunayaka and Biyagama by grid connection methods. And this is suitable for tea industry due to higher roof fan and high altitude. So, find the final stage of the process. We have identified a hybrid solar wind energy generation approach with 6 steps. The first one is demand assessment, second one is resource assessment, third one is storage assessment, fourth modeling, and fifth one is implementation, and sixth one is operation and controlling. So by combining all these steps, the best feasible hybrid solar energy combination could be achieved, and the best method to implement this system in Sri Lanka could be identified. So, in conclusions, we have uh, identified that the experts collectively recommend solar wind hybrid system as suitable application for Sri Lanka. The proposed framework could be used to uh, government policymakers to promote hybrid systems in Sri Lankan context, and through strategies such as provision of tax concessions of loans, research funding, and awareness sessions, the hybrid system could be further developed, and it's recommended to consider tea plantation as a suitable sector to implement hybrid solar wind energy generation approach. Further, it's recommended to broaden the hybrid concept with circular economic approaches to enhance the green energy supply. So this is our references, and thank you. If you have any queries, you are welcome to ask.